Oh no. Oh no. What happened? Hi friends, welcome back. I'm MC, a knit and crochet designer and yarn dyer from Connecticut, and you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Blame the Knots, on my website, blametheknots.com, and of course right here on YouTube where you can get to know me a little bit better. Today, we are here for episode 27. I almost said 37. We're not there yet. Episode 27 of the podcast. Today is July 3rd, and we actually don't have a ton to talk about today. We have a couple of exciting things, but not as much as I have had in some past podcasts. So let's jump right into it and talk about what I have been working on. First things first, what I am wearing today is something that was this close to being finished in the last podcast, and this is my Low Tide Tee by Brie of the Little Wolf Knits. I will stand up for you so you can see my little ties that I finally got added on. I made this in Wonderland Yarns Mad Hatter base, which is a sport weight base. This is the colorway Giggle Juice, and this was an exclusive colorway for Local Yarn Store Day 2024. Now, this pattern is written for fingering weight yarn, but I thought I knew how my gauge was different than Brie's, and so I figured I would be okay using sport weight. It couldn't be that different. Well, let me tell you, I used a US 5 needle, which I believe is what the pattern calls for, and I did a little bit of the, this is bottom up, so I started a little bit at the bottom, and then I decided to check my gauge, and I was so off, so far off. So normally I usually make about the size 3 in Brie's patterns. I made the smallest size, and I still have the recommended ease that the pattern calls for. I want to say the pattern calls for about 8 to 10 inches of positive ease. I have about 8. I like to go on the smaller size of positive ease. I don't like my things to have a lot of positive ease. That's just my personal fit preference. So I tend to go towards a slightly less positive ease. So yeah, I made it the smallest size. My gauge is wildly off from the pattern. So, you know, don't go by that. But it fits me great. I do have these little wings happening right here because of the way I had it laid out and pinned when I was blocking it, but when I first put it on this morning, they were like, woohoo! And they are like slowly getting a little bit better, so I'm not concerned about those. They're with wear and just relaxing after blocking, they are calming down. I also used up every little bit of this yarn for this top, and I did not have enough for the I-cord ties. So I took some yarn that was some scrap yarn in my stash. I had a teeny tiny little nugget of, I believe this is Knit Picks Hawthorne fingering. I don't know what the name of it was. I think it was a limited edition colorway. But I thought that this dark purple contrast went well, and I'm happy with it. I'm really excited. I really didn't want to do a contrast tie, but I was kind of forced to, and I really like the way it turned out. I like the way it's looking, so that is my first finished object of the day. My next finished object is something that I don't think you saw on the last podcast, if I remember correctly. No, because I still had the yarn all like in its pretty presentation on the last podcast. So this is my Biker Babe Bralette, which is in testing for Amanda of Lovely by Lee. And part of the reason that you didn't get to see this as a work in progress on a podcast is because I finished this in 48 hours. I finished the whole thing in 48 hours, and like not even working hard. Like I wasn't trying to challenge myself to do it in 48 hours. I just cast it on and I was like la 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 la, knitting along, having fun, and I was like, wow, I'm splitting for front and back already. And then I was like, okay, well the front went really fast, and oh my gosh, the back is a racer back, so it's tiny. There's not much to do. And then suddenly I was like, wait a second, I feel like I cast this on the day before yesterday and I'm binding off. It went so fast. I didn't even like try to put in extra knitting time, nothing. It just went. So this I used Winterberry's yarn worsted base in the colorway Sunrise at the Lake. I couldn't remember if it was sunrise or sunset. Sunrise at the Lake. I used a US 8 for the body and a 6 for the ribbing. I'm pretty sure, yes, I'm pretty sure the pattern calls for a US 7 and a US 5. I had to change my needle size just slightly to get gauge, and I love it. It fits me so well. It is absolutely perfect, and even though it's called a bralette, this is actually a full-length tank on me. It goes to, I mean, maybe not full length, but it's a cropped tank. It pretty much, like the ribbing hits almost exactly at the narrowest point of my waist. So it looks really good on. I love it so much. This is in testing, I believe, until sometime in August. So keep an eye out for this coming soon. I actually do want to make another one of these. I mentioned this in a recent video, but I used about 300 yards for this, and I have a couple of DK skeins that are about 250 yards. And so I figure if I do a little bit of modification, only in terms of like row, not stitches or anything, just, you know, take out a couple rows here, a couple rows there, and make it more actually bralette length, I could do that in one skein of DK. So I think that would be really fun to do for a 1 week, 1 skein challenge. So I'm hoping that maybe I can do that. Oh, I don't know. Like I said, today's July 3rd, so we have the 4th of July weekend coming up, and the 4th falls on a Thursday this year, so therefore, you know, obviously nothing's gonna be happening on Friday. That is part of the long weekend. So I'm gonna have a 4-day weekend, basically. And I really kind of want to try and make another one of these over the 4-day weekend, because if I made this in 48 hours without even trying, I can make a bralette in less time, or even I can definitely do a bralette in 4 days without having to try that hard. But I also want to make another one of my Tammy Emmy tanks because I really want to get that into testing. And I also have some dyeing to do. We'll see. We'll see what happens. If you see a 1 week, 1 skein challenge video, then you'll know that what I decided to do. I don't know. To be determined. Next up, I have 2 finished skeins of yarn. And this first one, I believe I showed on the last podcast. I think it was still on a bobbin. I'm not entirely positive. But this is my Lollipop Swirl fiber that I got from Hip Strings. And this was incredibly bright when I first got it. And I decided to use my blending board and make rollags. So then I spun the rollags, applied it together, and this is what we have. So it was really interesting to me to watch this whole process happen, because I feel like you can still see each individual color that showed up in the original fiber preparation, but everything has been toned down. It has all become kind of muted, and whereas before it was really bright and vibrant, now this feels so fall-like. This feels very autumnal, and yeah, I don't know, it was interesting. This was, or is 100% Corriedale. I got 238 yards out of this. And And yeah, that's it. This was fun. It was a fun learning experience. Do I love this finished product? Not really. It's not really my colors. But, you know, I had no idea what was going to happen. And, you know, this fiber that I had, this was pretty much like the first fiber I bought for myself, and I had been so afraid to spin it for so long, and I'm really proud of myself that I tried something new and spun this up. And yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what's gonna happen to this. I don't know. Let me know if you have any thoughts on what this should become or where it should go, because I'm not committed to keeping it, to be completely honest. Oh no. Oh no. What happened? What are you doing? How did this happen? Why did you do that? Okay. My next finished yarn is my first project for Tour de Fleece 2024, and I am so excited about it. This was a wild ride for me. Okay, let me show it to you and then we will chat about it. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Okay, look. Just look at how amazing this is. So I'll show you both sides because the colors are distributed a little bit differently on each side. This is a little bit, this part is looking a little bit more yellow and green heavy. Oh my gosh, look at it. Isn't it so cool? Okay, let's talk about this. This is 100% Southdown, and I have never spun Southdown before. I got I got a Tour de Fleece countdown box from Malia Made It on Etsy, and this box had all Shave 'em to Save 'em, which are basically conservation status breeds of sheep. So they are pretty much, think of like endangered species, and the Shave 'em to Save 'em initiative is trying to get more people to be interested in these sheep, spin their wool, get more shepherds to breed these sheep to kind of bring them back. So all of the breeds in this box are Shave 'em to Save 'em breeds, and I thought that was really cool, and I have never spun any of them. There are 6 different breeds. I've never spun any of them. So the first 4 days were Southdown, and I had such a journey with this spin. First impressions, I loved the Southdown. It felt so cool. Like, this is so squishy. I mean, it is so bouncy and squishy and amazing, and like like this feels like a stuffed animal, to be honest. Like, you could squeeze it and it like bounces back. It's amazing. So first impressions, loved it. Then I started spinning it, and to be honest, I was not having a good time. There were a lot of like neps and VM and stuff in this fiber, and it was just not my favorite spin. I was still, like, I don't want to sound too negative because I still have fun even when I'm not having fun, because I love trying new fibers. So I don't mind spinning something where I'm like, ew, this fiber's gross, I don't like it, I'm never gonna use it again. I'm still having fun because I'm learning that I don't like that fiber, and I'm still learning something about it. So this was my first ever Southdown, my first ever down breed, which I still don't really know what that means, but whatever. And even though I was annoyed, I was having a lot of fun. So I had to kind of let go of a couple of ideas that I had, because initially I had wanted to do a big combo spin for Tour de Fleece. Then I was thinking maybe I could do a different kind of combo spin where I spun one ply would be my Tour de Fleece box, and the other ply would be my a Shetland fleece that I'm processing, and kind of ply them together. And because this was turning out so textured, and it was more tonal than I anticipated, which is fine. I didn't, like, it's not like the box was misadvertised. I just, like, was imagining things in my head, and these were more tonal than I was picturing. So anyway, yeah, I know. My dreams had to get put aside. They were not dashed, but they had to change. So I decided to just make this a single skein and ply it on itself. So basically I did days 1 and 2 on one bobbin, days 3 and 4 on another bobbin, and I plied them together. And I love the way it came out. It's kind of cool. I don't know how to describe it. It almost, like, when it's in the skein like this, it kind of looks like it's going to be self-striping, but it's not really. So basically one bobbin went from green to yellow to like orangey red, and then the other bobbin went orangey red to pinky purple. So there are points where you have like green and orange plied together, then there are points where you have yellow and purple, and it just, I don't know how to describe it, but it's really cool. And it somehow, like, in this form, it looks brighter than any of the braids looked initially. So like it somehow, like, their powers combined and made them more neon. I don't know, but it's really cool. I think it's really, really cool. And I think this would make a really good, I don't know, hat? Maybe? That could be fun. A single skein shawl. Apparently this is very hard wearing and also resists felting. So I don't know. What would you make with it? I forgot to say, I got 232 yards out of this, and I'm really happy with it. In the end, through the highs and lows of this spinning process, I do really like it. It's time to talk about whips, and I only have one. I only have one work in progress today. I've only been working on one thing. I literally don't have anything else to show you because I am only working on one project at a time lately. Who am I? I don't know what's happening. But this work in progress is so exciting. I can't wait to show you. It has so many exciting things about it. Okay, so let's go back in time a little bit. Now, if you've been around here for a little while, or you've been following me on Instagram, or you follow me on Ravelry, or anything like that, you will know that I recently collaborated with the wonderful Brie of the Little Wolf Knits on the C Street tank. And it was so much fun. Brie did a knit version, I did a crochet version. We worked really hard to get them as close to each other as possible so that they really are sister patterns. They match almost perfectly. And it was so much fun, and a lot of people got really excited about them and loved them and were excited about the idea of knit version and crochet version of something that they love, and it was amazing. It was amazing, and all of your joy made me so happy. It made us so happy. So happy, in fact, that maybe we might have decided to do it again. That's right, we're collabing again, and I am so excited. I am so grateful to Brie for working with me again, for just putting in the time and effort that all of this takes, and we're talking constantly, trying to figure out the best idea for the design, the best way to implement things, to make things happen, how we can get it to work and knit and crochet and make these really the best patterns that we can possibly make. So, are you ready for me to show you? I hope so. Here we go. Now, remember, it's not done yet, so it's not necessarily looking her best at the moment. She's got a lot of ends. Okay, she's got a lot of wild ends hanging out, but we'll tidy those up soon. Here we go. This is the happy hour top. Now, you might be thinking a couple of things about this. One, MC, it looks like you have, it looks sleeveless on one side and like there's a short sleeve on the other. Okay, we'll get there. You might also be thinking, well, that's really pretty. That's cute, very cute. But you know, it just looks like a tank or t-shirt. Still undecided about those sleeves, but it looks like a basic top. Well, if we turn it around, we have this amazing cutout in the back with a tie at the bottom. I tied it a little bit kind of poorly for you just so you could see the structure of it. There are still ends everywhere. But we have a tie at the back. Oh my god, look how good it looks. Look how good it looks. Okay, so let's talk some more about this. First things first, I am using my own hand-dyed yarn in the colorway After These Messages. I will hold it up for you to get a better look at. This is After These Messages. This colorway was slept on during my first shop update. It was the poorest seller, which is okay, it's fine. So I decided to make something out of it. And let me tell you, I am so happy. I am so happy with how it is working up. And I think after I've shown this on Instagram a couple of times, a lot of you are realizing that maybe you shouldn't have slept on this. And I have had to restock the shop. So there is plenty of this now in the shop. I just did a big dye day of After These Messages the other day. So there's plenty of this in the shop now if you would like to grab some. And there are still, I do have stock of, do I? Almost. I have one colorway. I am out of DK. I need to re-dye some of that, but everything else is in stock, but there is also a dye to order option as well if you would like to ensure that everything is dyed just for you and from the same dye lot and all that stuff. Okay, so this is After These Messages. I'm so excited. I am so pleased with how this has worked up. It looks so good. And I also am really excited because I did not alternate skeins and you cannot tell where I changed skeins. You can't tell at all. You can't tell where I went from going, from doing shorter rows to longer rows. You can't tell at all. I'm so pleased with how this has turned out. Second thing I'm pleased about. This design is just making me so happy. We have decided to do a neckline that's very reminiscent of this that I have on a low tide tee, but it's a different construction. This is double knitting, and we decided to do something that looks like this but is kind of more of a ribbed look. So anyway, I had to figure out how I wanted that to come across in crochet, and I decided, sorry, I thought I just heard I can't tell if I heard a cat meowing in the house or a child yelling outside. Sometimes they sound the same. Anyway, I am so pleased with how this edge has come out. I'll try my best to show you. Ooh, there we go. I'm so pleased with it. It looks so good. It looks so good on. It looks so good on. It's so tailored and amazing. And this, this edging goes around the neck and also around the opening in the back. And I will finally answer your questions about those sleeves. This top is going to have two options, sleeveless or long sleeves. So for the sleeveless option, we will have the edging again around the edge of the sleeve. And then the reason that I have two different sleeve versions here is because this sample is going to be my sleeveless sample, but I didn't feel comfortable writing a pattern for the sleeve and sending it to my tech editor and possibly getting it into testing before I started my second sample without trying it myself. So I got everything finished except for one armband, and then I decided to start doing my sleeve so that I could double check my written pattern, make sure all my numbers were okay, I liked the way it was fitting, all that stuff. And I'm probably gonna do a tiny bit more on this sleeve. I don't feel like I need to go all the way to a long sleeve because once I get to the point where I'm just doing like general sleeve decreases, I have done that in several other patterns that have been tested and stuff, so like I feel confident enough in those numbers that I'm okay with that. But what was I saying? I don't know. I don't remember. I'll probably do a little bit more of this just to make sure I still like the fit and everything, and then I'm going to rip this out and pick it up and do an armband, and then this will be done. I also have this hanging here because I wasn't quite sure if I want to add some extra stitches around the neckband. I'm still undecided on the height of the neckband and how I want it to sit on the body. It's honestly a matter of like, do I want to add 4 to 6 stitches to this circumference or leave it as it is? So that's really not a big deal, but I wound off some extra yarn and left it here just in case I decide I want to take it out and do it again. I think I'm just gonna keep trying it on and seeing how I feel about that. It goes over my head and everything just fine. It's more, I don't know. I just was undecided, and so I decided to give myself a little bit of buffer in case I wanted to go back and do it. So anyway, I have talked about this for so long. I'm sorry. I'm just really, really excited, and I think it's amazing, and I'm really proud of what we have created. So this will actually be going into testing very soon. We are working hard on this to get it going quickly. And yeah, if you're not already on the newsletter, make sure you get on it because that is where my tester calls go first before I post them on Instagram. And yeah, I hope you like it. Oh, also, I do want to say that we are aiming for a set-in sleeve, a seamless set-in sleeve, and I am so proud of how it's looking. I think it looks so good. This is not something that people do in crochet that often because short rows in crochet scare people, but I am here to tell you that they're not that scary. So, okay, I'm done talking about this. I'm done talking about this, I swear. I'm just really excited. Keep an eye out for this coming soon. I'm so excited. Okay, we just have some life things and channel updates and admin stuff to talk about, and we're gonna make this quick because, if I'm being honest, it's approximately 9,000 degrees in my office right now. Oh no, I'm sliding away. Okay. It's approximately 9,000 degrees in my office right now, and I have to keep the door closed while I'm recording because of the little terror that's right down there. You got a cute little stretch. She was making herself known in one of my videos recently, and I got a couple of messages from people showing me screenshots of Shandy with just like her legs up in the air, letting the world see all her business that I didn't notice at all while I was editing. That was hilarious. So anyway, let's quickly talk about what videos have been on the channel since the last time we spoke. The first one that I posted is a summer project planning video because I have so much going on this summer, so much to do. Oh my gosh, I'm just realizing. I held this up, my happy hour top. I held this up in that video. So y'all have already seen this. I just made such a big deal out of it. I mean, it's still a big deal, right? It's still a big deal. I can't believe I did that. Anyway, I did a summer project planning video, which was planning works in progress, planning future projects that I need to work on, planning my life. Basically, my life, anything that has to do with Blame the Knots was talked about in that video. Anything that I have to do between now and August. It is wild, the amount of stuff that I have to do, but we got ourselves organized and made a plan there. Then I posted a video of my first ever sheep to skein project, and that was, I'm pretty sure I've shown on the podcast before, my finished skein of Nettie, who is the first sheep that I processed wool from, and I posted a video showing my whole process from it arriving in the mail to finishing off the skein. And yeah, that was really fun to do that video. I enjoyed it. I have fully fallen in love with processing wool and spinning and all of that stuff. So I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know if you want to see any more of that kind of behind the scenes stuff. Then the other video that I posted was the first installment of TDF Tuesday, and that is something that I'm going to be doing all through the Tour de Fleece. So the Tour de Fleece started on a Saturday and it ends on a Sunday, but all the Tuesdays in between and the one Tuesday that falls, you know, after the Tour de Fleece wraps up, I'm going to be doing TDF Tuesdays, and I'm going to be showing my progress of what I've worked on that week. So I will be opening my countdown box and talking through everything. Whenever I open a new fiber on the first day, I grab my field guide to fleece and we talk a little bit about the breed, and I show you my absolute first reactions to feeling the fiber and getting the fiber spinning, and you can watch me struggle with it and learn a little bit about how it's going for me. So that has been really fun, and it is challenging to try to film every single day, or remember to film every day, but we're doing it, and I found that that was a compromise between doing a video every day. I could at least film every day and do the video once a week, so that has been going well. I have also been opening up the Little Wolf Knits Moana inspired Island Girl countdown in July. So today is only the third day of it, but I have been opening that and showing you what each mini skein looks like in my Instagram stories and as a short on YouTube. So that has been happening in July. And other than that, it has been trunk show prep around here. Designing mostly this for right now, although I do have a couple other things coming up. So it has been a lot of designing and a lot of trunk show prep, and then occasionally stuffed in between the trunk show prep is dyeing for orders and getting those out. So it has been incredibly busy, and of course I also, you know, I do have a job. I do work, so there's that too. So it's been madness around here. It has been a lot, but it has been really good and exciting, and I hope you're enjoying coming along for all the chaos that is my life in the next 6-ish weeks. So I think that is all I have to say. I am overheating, and my camera just informed me that it is overheating too. So I think we're gonna let both of us rest and we are going to say goodbye for now. I will see you in 2 weeks for the next podcast episode, and until then, take care of you, and I will see you later. Bye.